Did you look at my YouTube link, the video of Jeff Bezos? Yeah. Thank you. Thank you very much. Let's stop the chat. Let's stop the chat. Oh my God. So how many participants are raising their hands? So many participants raising their hands. Okay. Sumit Singh. Good morning. How are you doing?
Yeah, I'm good, Sunil. How are you?
I'm doing well.
Yeah, actually,
So you were
tell me.
you were there in the last session, right?
Yeah, right.
So what do you know about S3?
My question is that suppose from the bucket, if I store one object and by mistakenly, if any user drop means delete that object, there is a chance to undo that one.
Recover the object.
Yeah.
We can recover. We'll see it now.
Yeah. Okay.
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 Okay. Sumit. So what do you know about S3?
Sorry.
Can you tell me something about S3?
S3 means I joined for the bucket session means it's a storage level.
Sumit?
Hello.
Yeah, Sumit.
Yeah, I just joined in last session only.
Okay, fine.
Yeah.
Thank you. Okay. So anybody ready to discuss about S3 for 2 minutes? Please raise the hand. Okay. Rama Lanka. Can you hear me? Sorry.
Hi, Sunil.
Did you raise your hand, Rama?
Yes, Sunil. Hi, Sunil.
Okay.
Are you able to hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you. So I think you have raised your hand. Am I right?
Yeah, actually, I have a question on the yesterday's class.
Okay. Before you asking me a question, so can you talk about S3 for 2 minutes?
The S3 is a securable and durable, scalable storage thing.
Okay.
We can store the objects.
Perfect.
For
Very
storage
good.
the objects, we have to create one bucket.
Okay.
So in that bucket, we can store any number of objects.
Very good.
So maximum is the 5 terabyte. Up to 5 terabyte file, we can upload that
Super
file. And we have a privilege. We can restrict the. I mean, we can provide the permissions like private and public.
Who can access the object? Who cannot access the object? And how can we access the object using the object URL?
Isn't it? Yes, using the object URL we can access.
Perfect.
So if you give the permission for public, then anyone can globally
access.
anyone
Otherwise,
can
we
access.
can make it private also, so what nobody can access.
Yes. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Anything more?
Yeah, I have a question about yesterday's class.
Yes. Tell me.
Can we upload exe files and script files?
Any file.
So actually,
any file.
Yeah,
it's a file storage.
That exe might be we can get some security issues, right? Whenever the user execute that exe file.
Have you tried?
Yeah.
You cannot execute it. Did you understand?
Oh yeah, actually.
You can upload it.
Yeah,
and save it.
Yes. Here my question is: suppose user uploaded one exe file and we provide the option to the global. So in the global, anyone can access, right? So whenever the user hit that URL, something we can execute in that.
It cannot execute. Try it. Okay.
Oh, okay.
Maximum thing what it can happen is you may download it. It can be downloaded to others' personal laptop. Okay. You cannot execute it. Okay. Clear.
Okay. Yeah, clear. Yeah. One more question. Yeah, here actually when we upload the one file and we are creating one, and I mean we are getting that object URL, right?
Yes.
So can we change that object URL it is?
You want to customize the object URL?
Yes. Yeah.
No, it's not possible.
Okay.
It's a
Actually, it is
pre-generated
exposing
system
that
generated.
everything, right? And where exactly the object is.
A lot of URL masking. You can mask that URL. That's okay. Okay, that's not a problem. You can change
Okay.
the
Yeah.
URL by other third party, any product or any online applications. You can change the URL. Okay, but URL you cannot customize yourself.
Oh,
Okay.
okay. Yeah, just
Next.
we want to mask that one. Yeah, that
You
is
can do
fine.
that.
Yeah,
That's fine. Next.
yeah. That's it, Sunil. Yeah, thank you so
So how
much.
is your learning of AWS?
Extraordinary.
Huh?
Yeah, yeah.
Is it the first time you're all learning AWS, or is it do you
Yes,
already know it?
this is the first time. This is
How
the
many
first time.
years of
Actually,
experience you're having?
15 years I am working on the .NET
Oh,
application developer. Yeah.
okay. Generally, .NET, people from Microsoft, they go for Azure, isn't it? So why are you selecting AWS?
Uh, I'm not sure exactly right now. I don't have any answer for this question, but
Okay.
but any cloud, if you know, if you learn any cloud, then we can
Learn the second
work
cloud
on any
easily.
other, right? Yeah. And at the
Okay.
same time, I have to get some idea on the
How
cloud
exactly the
platform.
cloud helps the
Yeah.
clients to help manage their infrastructure, isn't it, Rama?
Yes,
Okay.
yes,
Okay.
exactly. Right.
Thank you.
Thank
Thank
you
you for
so
your
much.
time, and
Nice to
please
talk with you.
continue to till end of the training so that you can get the complete exposure about how exactly cloud platforms like AWS and Azure GCP helps the clients to manage their infrastructure and as per their business requirements. Okay,
Yeah,
Rama.
okay. Thank you so much.
So thank you, Rama. Thank you very
Yeah,
much.
nice to
Okay,
talk with you.
thank you. So this is our plan for our today's session. So we'll discuss about versioning. As last session we have just understood the basics, right? How to create a bucket, how to upload the object into the bucket, how can we access the object, how to make the object private, how to delete the object, how to delete the bucket. And the S3 dashboard is global. There is no concept of regional selection, but at the time of creating the bucket you have to mention in which region you want to create the bucket. All this we have experienced it. In today's plan, look at this topics. Probably these many topics you cannot cover in today's session, but let's try. We'll go in a natural pace, and then we'll see where to what extent we can cover. If anybody asks you want to ask about S3 in the interview, they'll ask only these points. That's it. There's nothing more than that. It's just an object storage. Okay. So we should experience these features like versioning. You can use S3 buckets for static website hosting. AWS S3 provides different classes of storage. So we have to have understanding about what do you mean by classes, how is it differs. Cross-region replication, transfer acceleration, encryption, tags, metadata, access control list, bucket policies, lifecycle management. These are the topics to be known for the concept of S3 service. Okay, so let's start with the first feature that is called as versioning. Okay, let's go with understanding the concept of versioning. Let's log into AWS S3. The landing page is called as AWS Management Console Services. Now we are dealing with S3. Okay, right now you do not have any buckets. As you can see, right now we do not have any buckets. Okay, so first thing what you have to do is to create a bucket. The first thing what I want to do is to create a bucket. Okay, so let's go ahead and create a bucket. We already know this. I want to create the bucket in Mumbai region. By default, the bucket will be blocked. Unblock it. I acknowledge the current settings. And I create the bucket. As you can see, the bucket is created. Right now I'm in the bucket. The name of the bucket is 345436. So bucket name can be anything. That's fine. Right now there are no objects and I want to upload an object. Okay. Let's say I'm creating a file. with something called first line, and I save my file. I name it as sample.txt file. You can see here sample.txt. Rama, can we have a talk?
Yes, sorry.
Can you see I have created a file, sample.txt file,
Yeah.
and how many lines of content you are having? Only one
line.
line of content. This is my first line. Okay, so can I upload this object into the bucket sample.txt file?
Yes, we can.
Yes or no?
Yes, we can.
Okay, so let's upload the object. Upload, add files, desktop. The name of the file is
Sample.txt.
sample. Here it is sample.txt file.
Hmm.
The file has been uploaded. We go to permissions. I grant
Public read access.
public read access. I understand the settings.
Yes.
And I upload the object. Once the object is uploaded, we can access the object using the object URL. I select the object. When you select the object, you can see object URL is generated, and I copy the object URL and I try to access it from my browser. As I have provided read access, are able to read the content, isn't it, Rama? Okay.
Yes.
Not only me, anybody in the world can access the content. Rama, I am sending you the object URL in the chat box. Can you pick up the object URL from the chat box and try to confirm whether you are able to access the object or not?
Yes, I'm able to access.
You are able to access the object like same way. Okay.
Yes.
And you can now see that object is obviously having that one line of content, isn't it? Because the file is having one line of content. So this is all what we have learned in the last session. We know how to create a bucket, how to upload the objects into the bucket, and how can we access the object URL using the object URL. Now, I want to discuss about the first feature called as. I want to discuss about the first field of feature called as versioning. Okay.
Yes.
Look at the notes. I want to enable the versioning feature. Okay, I want to enable the versioning. Okay, so where is all these features? Select the bucket. Rama, I'm selecting the bucket. I go to properties.
Okay.
Here you find all the properties. Can you see bucket versioning? Okay. Yes. And we have one more property called tags, default encryption, intelligent tiering, server access logging, AWS cloud trial data event, event notifications, transfer acceleration, object lock, requester paste, static website hosting. Everything is disabled. You can see every feature is disabled. You can see disabled.
Yes.
Everything is disabled. Have you observed transfer acceleration disabled? Every feature by default is disabled. It's up to you whether you want to, if you want to use any feature, you have to enable it and then use a particular feature. Now I want to enable versioning. Okay. Can you see here right now the bucket versioning is disabled. I want to enable the versioning feature. How to enable it? Pretty simple. Click on edit. Enable the versioning feature. Okay.
Okay.
Save changes. Okay. Save changes. Next. We already have uploaded our object into the bucket. Okay.
Yeah.
What is the object name? The name of the object is sample.txt file, and this object is having one line of content, isn't it? This is my first line or whatever it is.
Yes.
The first advantage of versioning is we can recover the deleted object. Versioning is having two advantages. Versioning is having two advantages. When you enable versioning, you can get two advantages. First advantage, you can recover the deleted object. First, let's delete the object. Selecting the object, we have an option called delete. I click on delete and I deleted
Delete
the object.
objects.
The object has been successfully deleted.
Deleted.
Right now, you can see there are no objects.
Yes.
As you have enabled a special feature called as versioning, you can recover the object. How to recover the object? This is the bucket which we have created.
Yes.
We have uploaded one object. We have uploaded one object into the bucket.
Bucket.
And right now what we have done, we already have deleted it.
Yes.
Okay. When you enable versioning, what happens is when you delete an object, we think that the object is deleted, but technically it is not deleted. It is only marked as deleted. I repeat again. This is very, very important statement to understand. When you delete an object, as you have enabled, what you have enabled? As you have enabled versioning, if you delete an object, technically object is not deleted. Object is marked as deleted. It is marked as deleted. Okay. Now, if you want to recover the object, you need to remove the mark. That's it. If you want to recover the object, you have to remove the marker. I repeat again. As you have enabled versioning, when you delete an object, the object is not deleted. Object is marked as deleted. If one more mark is there on the object, that is the marker, it is marked as deleted. You have to remove the mark. If you remove the mark, then you can recover the object. That's it. Okay. Where can we see the marker? Can you see we have show versions here?
Yes.
Click on show versions. You can see this is the object and the corresponding marker. Rama, can you see here?
Yeah. Yes.
As we have enabled versioning, you can see this is the object and the corresponding marker. That marker is called as a delete marker. Okay. So what you do, how to recover the object? You remove the marker, select the marker, and delete the
marker. Okay. Delete in the text input field. I think it is deleting that versioning object, right?
1 minute.
Oh,
I have deleted the
object.
I'm deleting the marker. I'm deleting what I'm deleting. I'm deleting the marker.
Marker.
As I have deleted the marker, go back to your bucket now. As you can see, go back to the bucket. Is your bucket having an object or not? Did you recover the object or not? Yes or no? Yes, you have recovered it.
Yes, we can do.
The first advantage of versioning is we can recover the deleted object. And I have shown you how to recover the deleted object. I repeat again, when an object is deleted, technically it is not deleted. It is marked as deleted. If you want to recover the object, what you have to do? You remove the mark. Where can we see the mark? You on the show, when you click on show versions, you will find the object and the corresponding marker. So you remove that mark. When you remove that mark, automatically the object will be back. Okay. Okay. So this is how I have now showcased you the first very important frequently asked question. What is the advantage of versioning? The advantage of versioning, first advantage now talking about, there is one more advantage anyways we'll discuss. The first advantage which I just discussed is you can recover the deleted object. Thank you, Rama.
Yeah, thank you so much.
Stella, how are you doing? I can see your hand raised, Stella. You have any questions? You are allowed to unmute. You are allowed to unmute and talk. Okay. Shah, is this clear about the first advantage of versioning? How can we recover the deleted object?
Yes, sir.
Okay. I want to discuss about second advantage. I want to discuss about second advantage. The first advantage we already have just discussed. We can recover the deleted object. Now I am discussing about the second advantage. As the name suggests, it maintains different versions of the file. As the versioning name says, your different versions of the objects are maintained in the versioning. Okay. Now, Shah, right now I have uploaded the object and we are able to access the object using the object URL, isn't it? Okay. I have selected the object Shah and I'm copying the object URL and I'm able to get my object. This is my first line. Okay.
Yes.
Shah. Now what I'm doing here, I am updating my object. You know, the object is a
Sample.txt.
text file, which is there here in my desktop. And this particular object is having only one line of content. Yeah. I'm adding one more line. This is my second line. I have updated my file. The file name is the same. Right now, my file is having 2 lines. Okay. Now I upload this object into my bucket. Shah, I'm uploading the object. Already object is available, isn't it? I'm uploading one more time, the same object. Technically, what happens, the old object will be replaced with the
new one. Overwrite.
Yes, you are right. And as usual, I grant the public access. I understand the settings and I upload the object. Object is uploaded. Okay. Now, as you can see, the file has been file has been replaced with the new file. Now, when you access the object using the object URL, now if you access the object using the object URL, do you have one line of content or 2 lines of content?
2.
Obviously, the old file has been replaced with the new one. You have 2 lines of content now. Okay. Next, as you have enabled what feature, Shah? As we have enabled versioning feature, what you can see is there are 2 versions of the object. Okay. There are 2 versions. By default, the old version is replaced with the new second one. But in case if you want the older version of the object, okay. But in case if you want to get back the older version of the object, you can see the versions by using here show versions. When you click on show versions, as expected, how many versions you are having? This is the, as you can see, the timestamp. This one is a below one is the old one, and the upper one is a
new one.
Latest one, obviously. Okay. Now, when you want the older version of the object, if you want the older version of the object, select the object whichever you want and click download. Okay. I'm downloading. Let's say where I'm downloading in my downloads folder. Yes, I have downloaded. Now I open this particular object. Are you able to see the first version of the object? Yes or no? As you have enabled versioning, as the name suggests, the bucket will maintain different versions of the files. And even you can see list of all the versions by using the show versions option. You can see all the versions by using the show versions, and then you can download any version whichever you want. Okay, clear?
Yes.
So versioning is having finally how many advantages? 2 advantages. First one is you can recover the deleted object. The second advantage, as the name suggests, it will maintain different versions of the object, so that in case if you want the older version, you are now in a position to see list of all the versions, pick up the version whichever you want, and download. Clear, Shah?
Yes.
Thank you for your support.
Yeah.
Super. So we have discussed perfectly about the concept of versioning. Okay. Let's have a quick discussion with George. George D4.
Good morning, sir.
Good morning, sir. How are you doing?
I'm doing good.
You're from which location?
I'm from Maryland.
Oh, what's time for you?
It's
My
1:59.
God. It's difficult, isn't it?
Yeah, it's a little bit difficult, but you know, when you're determined to learn something, then you have to stay up late.
Thank you. Thank you. Thank you for your effort. Yes, your question.
I am really happy and impressed of the way you're teaching us.
Okay, thank you very much. Thank you very
I
much.
I really understand the way you explain. I learn a lot.
Thank you. If you're happy, please share it to your friends,
Yeah.
our upcoming batches.
So my question is, can I permanently delete an object with versioning enabled?
If you want to permanently delete after enabling the versioning, you can go to show versions. When you click on show versions, you can see the object and the corresponding delete marker. Am I right? So
Yes,
from
but,
there,
you know,
you can delete, you remove the object as well as the corresponding delete marker. Then you can permanently delete it. Okay.
Okay, so I have to go disable the versioning option and then I delete.
If you disable versioning option and then you delete it, it is permanently lost.
Okay, so I have to disable first.
If you disable it and then you delete it, it will be permanently lost. Okay.
Okay, sir.
Anything more?
No, that's it for now.
Thank you. Let's move on. We have discussed about versioning. Now let's move on to discuss about static website hosting. Okay. I want to discuss about static website hosting. So for this static website hosting feature, I want to start from the scratch. Let's delete the bucket and create a new bucket from the scratch clearly so that I will show you. Here you have an option to empty the bucket. Your bucket may have 100 objects. All your objects will be deleted at one shot by using the empty option. Now your bucket is empty. Now I want to delete the bucket. Type the bucket name. Right now, no buckets. Let's start from the scratch. Let's experience how can we use S3 bucket for static website hosting. Let's start with creating a bucket. Bucket name can be anything. As usual, I want to create the bucket in the Mumbai region. By default, the bucket is blocked. I want to remove the block. You need to acknowledge the current settings which you have done it and create bucket. Bucket creation is successful. You need to enable static website hosting. By default, every feature is disabled. I hope you know that. Now I am enabling static website hosting. Select the bucket, properties, can you see static website hosting option? It is at the lost. It is disabled. Enable the static website hosting. Okay. I want to use this bucket for hosting a static website. When you want to use this bucket for static website hosting, minimum you should have two files. One is index.html file. The other one is error.html file. In fact, one file is enough, but it's always good to have two files. If you are experiencing website, the designer, you know, first page should be, of every website should be index.html. And I want one additional document called as error document. So what I'll do, I will mention two file names here. Remember, what are the two file names I'm mentioning here? Remember the two file names which I'm mentioning. Index.html and error.html. So let's do that. So you have to mention two files. One is index.html and you have to mention error.html as your two files, and then click on save changes. So what did I do? I have enabled the static website hosting feature. I have enabled the static website hosting feature, and then I have mentioned two files. One is in index.html, the other one is error.html. As I have mentioned two files, I have to create these two files. I have to create this two files. So what I'll do, I create a new folder, naming it as website. In this website folder, I will create the first document as I use HTML tag heading tag h1, welcome to my site. Close of heading tab, and I want to save this in my desktop. I have created a folder called website, and it is what document? Not a text document. It is the first document that is called as index.html. I have created one index.html file. Next, I will create one more file, error.html file. In this file, I also write one content website under construction, close of h1 heading tag, and I save this in my same folder, website folder, and I name it as error.html. Remember, these are the two files these are the two file names which you have mentioned when you have enabled static website hosting. First, I want to independently test whether these files are perfectly rendering in the browser or not. So I want to check whether these files are perfectly running. I am dragging the index.html, welcome to my site, perfectly it is working. And then the second file I want to test, that is error.html, website under construction. So both the web pages are perfectly working. Now, you have to upload these two files, index.html and error.html, into your bucket. You have enabled this bucket, static website hosting. Yes, go back to your bucket, upload your web pages into your bucket. Add files in the folder name website. These are the two files which I want to upload it. Both the files has been uploaded, and I go to permissions, and I provide grant read access. I understand the settings, and I upload my web pages into the bucket. Okay. So like this, you can visualize if you have a very big website, you can visualize multiple pages like index.html, contact.html, error.html, services.html, registration.html, signup.html, locations.html. Like this, if you have a good website of 7 to 8 pages, you can upload all your pages here. And if you know website designing, you can provide the links between the pages so that and create a menu so that you can use the S3 bucket as your static website. Okay, so I have created a bucket and I have enabled static website hosting. The moment you enable static website hosting, do you remember where did you enable static website hosting? Do you remember where did you enable the static website hosting? Under properties, you will find the static website hosting property at the last. Yes, when you enable your static website hosting, what you get is a bucket endpoint. When you enable static website hosting, what you get is bucket endpoint. So this is your bucket endpoint. I copy the bucket endpoint, and bucket endpoint is something like your domain name website. Bucket endpoint is something like a website. So I am using the bucket endpoint, and then I copy this. I access the bucket endpoint. This acts like your website. As my index.html is having welcome to my site, that's the reason you're getting as welcome to my site. If you have a beautiful home page with a menu bar, and then your website will work. I am sharing the bucket endpoint. I am sharing the bucket endpoint in the chat box. Pick up the bucket endpoint in the chat box. You should be able to access my website. Bucket endpoint is something like a domain name. So if you want to have a website of 10 pages, you create all the 10 pages, upload it into your bucket enable static website hosting, and then you'll get the bucket endpoint. Using that, you can use it as your website. You may have a question. Sunil, this is the bucket endpoint. That's fine, but generally we access the website using the website name, something like sunil.com or whatever it is. Okay, so that is the domain name. You can link the domain name to bucket endpoint. You have to buy the domain name in GoDaddy or something like that, isn't it? Are you understanding? Buy domain name, something like sunil.com, whatever it is, learning.com, aws.com, whatever you want. You can buy the domain name and link the domain name to what? To your bucket endpoint. When you link the domain name, buy the domain name, and when you link the domain name to the bucket endpoint, now you can use this. You can provide this domain name to your customers or to whoever it is to share your website. Now, your question could be, how can we link the domain name to the bucket endpoint? This is possible by using a service called as Route 53. When we learn about Route 53, we will also show, we'll experience it. We'll experience how to buy a domain name. How can we link the domain name to the endpoint so that this will be your website and the website pages will be there in your bucket. If anybody accesses your website, you get the your web pages. Like this, there are many websites who are using this static website hosting feature and running on S3. I hope I am very clear in explaining the concept of how can we use S3 buckets for hosting static websites. Am I clear, Shah?
Yes, sir. However, sir, I have a question.
Yep.
Like usually, like web apps have like a folder structure. So, is it like just we have to?
That is for dynamic websites.
Oh, okay. Yeah,
Okay.
sorry.
Isn't it? This is for S3 supports only static pages. Okay.
Yeah.
But in case you can also create folders inside the buckets, that's also possible. But it's only you cannot have a Node.js website or a application perfectly or any dynamic applications cannot be done. It's only for static websites. Okay, simple websites. Okay.
Yeah. Just a counter question. Like, how do we create a folder in the bucket? Is it like bucket inside a bucket?
No. Bucket itself is having a feature of creating a folder. Look at this. Okay, this is the bucket. You have how many objects?
Two objects.
Here we have an option of create folder.
Oh, okay, yeah.
Let's say you want to place some 10 images in a website. Okay, all 10 images we place it in folder, isn't it, Shah? Okay?
Yes.
And then we provide links to our HTML pages.
Right.
And you can work around with it. Okay. Thank you. Any questions? Balaji. I can see your hand raised, Balaji. You are allowed to unmute. Yes.
Sunil, this is Kiran here.
Yeah, Kiran.
So how can we, means as of now, you have created the bucket and the website has been hosted and it has been made public. So when we can, means for specific set of users, how we can restrict that?
You want your website only to be available in India, for example.
Yeah. Or for few users.
Practically, how do you control it for specific users, generally from a website point of view?
By creating a group and adding users to that group and providing that group access to this bucket, something like that?
No, that website, can it be restricted, Balaji? I'm talking about website, for example. Okay. So it's something like this. ICICI Bank. Can we restrict this to specific users?
No, as it's a hosted public domain.
That is something similar to it. Okay. Got it? When you want, that is for only public. Okay. Website is for complete public. Okay. It's not typical to customized requirement. This is only for static basic website features. Okay.
Okay.
Okay, Balaj.
Yeah, thanks, Arun.
Thank you. Sham S.
Yeah. Hi, Sunil.
Yeah.
Sunil, couple of questions.
Yes.
The first question, when we are trying to create a bucket, so we are trying to allow public access.
Yes.
And when we are trying to create an object, so there we are granting the permission.
Read access to public.
Publicly. So what if we at the bucket level we block the public access and then we grant at the object level? So which will it be able to access?
No, because the top level is bucket, isn't it, Sham?
Right.
Okay.
Yeah,
At the bucket level only, you are stopping the access. So even though your object is public, but still your bucket will block it. Okay. So let's say how to provide restricted access. We have an option here using access control list. Okay. And bucket policies, and ACL stands for access control list, where in which we can you can let's say you have an object. Okay. You have an object. You want to share object not to public. You want to share objects to only 10 people, 10 of your friends.
Right.
Okay. So how can we do that? We'll control it by using access control list. Okay.
Yeah. And the second question is what will be the difference between EBS and S3?
Okay. Good question. Difference between EBS and S3. Okay.
Yeah.
We have an option of we have expressed the concept of EBS in EC2 service, isn't it? Am I right?
Right.
So in EC2 service, when you are creating assuming you are creating a Windows instance, okay?
Okay.
You're creating a Windows instance. So when you create a Windows instance, by default, you'll have one volume that is called as root volume.
Root volume.
And we also know we can have additional volumes.
Right. Up to 30.
Those additional volumes are nothing but called as an EBS volumes. Okay. Generally, when should go for additional volumes?
It's if we want to have some extra data or
extra data, something like in our Windows environment, we have C drive and D drive, isn't it?
Right.
The operating system generally goes with the C drive, and any additional data we generally save it in the D drive and D drive. Those are called as EBS volumes.
Right.
Okay. So here, same way, EBS volume is only for extra storage. But here, the only difference between the volumes and the storage is that in volumes, if you want, you can install softwares. Okay. If you want, you can install a software. Can we install some Windows software or any software on the volumes? Isn't it? You can do that. Whereas S3 is purely a
storage.
Object storage. You cannot use. Can we install operating system in S3 bucket? No. Or can you install some web package in S3 bucket? No. Can you install Tomcat in bucket? No. It's only purely object storage. So that's the difference. Volumes is all about memory, where you can install operating system, you can install web package, whatever you want to do. Okay. But S3 is only for handling objects. Okay. Did I answer your question?
Yeah. Looks good.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Abhishek Kanwar.
Yes, sir. I have just one question regarding the S3. We might have two buckets, bucket 1 and bucket 2. And some objects we have stored, videos and some things like we have stored in the bucket 1, and the images and something like we have stored in the bucket 2. So can we use, and by using the static website hosting?
Static website hosting, when you enable it, it has generated an endpoint. Okay.
Okay.
Agree?
So agree.
And the endpoint is at the bucket level. Okay. The endpoint is specific to one bucket, and that endpoint cannot have access to objects which is stored in a different bucket. Okay. Abhishek?
Got it, sir. Got it.
Okay.
Thank you.
And Abhishek,
Mhm.
when we have in this example, when we have experienced the concept of static website hosting, we
Mhm.
have uploaded two files. One is index.html file. The other one is error.html file. Okay. So
Correct.
when you are accessing the object using, how do we access the object? Sorry, how do we access the website? Using the bucket endpoint, you are accessing the
Website.
website. So when you access the website using bucket endpoint, by default, what file will be called first as usual? Index.html is.
Index.html.
And what is the purpose of error.html? Why did we create it?
Let's suppose that particular bucket goes down or something has happened.
Yes,
It was
because of any reason, if the index.html is not rendering, okay, if
correct.
the file is not available or permissions are not available or file has been corrected, in
Okay.
case saying that instead of getting web page not found, we will have a meaningful message saying that website under construction. So in such case, automatically error.html comes into picture automatically so that the end user can understand that okay, website is under maintenance. So wantedly, what we'll do now, Abhishek, let's wantedly delete the index.html. Okay.
Correct. Yeah.
So when you delete the index.html and now when you access the bucket using the bucket endpoint, it will try to find index.html. Index.html is anyways deleted. So automatically error.html comes into picture and then you should get the error page website under construction. Am I right?
Correct. Yep.
Yes, you can see website under construction. So instead, assuming if index.error.html is not available, we get a message something like page not found, which is not meaningful to the customers, isn't it? Okay.
Got it. Got it, Sunil.
So
Yeah.
that's the purpose of error.html. Got it. Thank you, Abhishek.
Yeah. Just one more question.
Yes.
In AWS, can we attach or can you link the Git account as well?
So Git is for source code management, okay, not for website hosting.
Yeah. Normally, like suppose S3, we have some objects, or let's suppose in Git, we are developing some codes or we are developing some new things.
Okay.
And we finalize that. This is
Okay.
our final code.
You want to upload the code from GitHub repository, which is there into S3 bucket.
Correct. Correct. So let's suppose
There are cases where we can link a GitHub repository to the S3 storage. Okay.
Okay.
But I'm not sure how to do it. Okay.
Okay. Thank you.
Thank you. So we have discussed about next feature called as static website hosting. Okay, for just two features, we have spent approximately 15 minutes. Now let's discuss about classes. Let's discuss about classes, or it's also called as tiers. So we already had one in the last session. I have used one PowerPoint slide where in which you have some information about classes. AWS S3 provides different storage classes. Okay, so I want to delete this bucket which I have just shown you for static website hosting. First, I want to empty the bucket. The bucket is empty. And then I want to delete the bucket. Okay, now let's have an understanding about classes. We have completed static website hosting, not cross-region replication. I want to discuss about classes. Okay, so yesterday's PowerPoint slide, which I have used, object storage, file size unlimited. Can you see this? Tiered storage available. What does that mean? Tier is also called as classes. Okay, AWS classes are also tiers. So what do you mean by, sorry, tiered storage available. Let's try to understand. Okay, tiered storage available. Okay. Yes. Can you see the heading of this class? Heading of this particular slide, as you can see, storage classes or storage tiers. AWS provides different storage classes. AWS S3 provides different storage classes. Examples of some storage classes are S3 standard, S3 intelligent tiering, standard 1A, one zone, S3 glacier, glacier deep archive. These are all different storage classes. Okay, these are all different storage classes. What do you mean by these storage classes? Okay, let's try to understand. When you create a bucket, after creating the bucket, naturally what we do, we will upload the object into the bucket. When you upload the object into the bucket, you have an option of selecting the storage class. When you upload the object into the bucket, you have an option of selecting the storage class. You can upload your object in standard storage class. You can upload your object in intelligent tiering, standard 1A, one zone, glacier deep archive, In different storage classes, you can upload your object. So let's experience this first. Okay, let's create an object and let's first upload an object. First create a bucket. I want to create a bucket in Mumbai region. By default, the bucket is blocked. Remove the block and I acknowledge the current settings and you create a bucket. Bucket created. Next, after the bucket is getting created, after that, I want to upload the object into my bucket. Let's say I want to upload this particular object, AWS image. You want to upload this particular object into the bucket. Yes, you can do that, no doubt. Upload your object, add files, desktop. This is the image. I have uploaded my object. Okay, right? Next, what we are doing, we are going to permissions and then we are providing a grant public access and you are understanding the settings and then you are uploading the object. That's what we are doing it. The object is uploaded. Once the object is uploaded, you can select the object. You will have the object URL and you can access the object using the object URL. That's fine. But my point is, whenever you upload an object, you can upload object in different storage classes. AWS provides different storage classes. And these are the list of storage classes what AWS provides you. Now, my point is, as we have just uploaded one storage class. Am I right, Shah? We have just uploaded one particular object into the bucket. Okay.
Yes.
And we have never experienced the concept of classes, isn't it? So, but here we can see in which class that object is getting stored. Can you see the object which is uploaded? This is the object.
Yes.
This is the object. AWS object is the image is the object which we have uploaded. Select the object. You can clearly see that the object is stored in which storage class? Standard storage class. Okay. Not only standard, we also have different storage classes, isn't it, Shah? Okay. Before getting into, and you can go to edit and change the storage class, you have different options. Instead of standard, you can go for intelligent standard one or glacier deep archive. You have different storage classes. You can see here, Shah, isn't it? Okay.
Yes.
But before that, let's have a quick understanding about the concept of storage class. Okay. Shah, what's your current location?
Melbourne.
Okay. I want to travel from Hyderabad, is my current city, to Bangalore. Okay. I want to travel on train. I want to travel on train from Hyderabad to Bangalore. This is my requirement. And I want to travel in train. Shah, in Indian Railways, there are different classes available, isn't it? I can
Right.
go for sleeper class. Okay. I
Yes.
can go for AC class. Okay.
Yeah.
I can travel in general class.
Yes.
I can travel in a chair car. I can travel in 2-tier AC. I can travel in 3-tier AC. There are different classes our Indian Railways provides, isn't it? Finally, you will reach your destination. Okay, so the different storage classes which are provided to the customers. Every storage class has having their own advantages and disadvantages. Am I right, Shah?
Yeah.
Similarly, when you are uploading the object into the bucket, you can upload your objects in standard, intelligent, standard 1A, one zone, glacier, deep archive. These are all different storage classes. And the default storage class, as you have just now experienced, Shah, is a standard storage class. If you don't select any storage class, by default, it will be uploaded in a standard storage class. Standard storage class is a high-speed storage class. It's a high-speed storage class when customers go for standard storage class. Okay. For example, Shah, we all know Netflix, and Amazon Prime. These are all popular OTT platforms, isn't it? Okay.
Yeah.
Now, let's say, for example, a movie is getting released in the Netflix platform. Okay. Let's say it's a very popular movie. When it is a very popular movie, when that particular movie is released in the platform like Netflix or Amazon Prime, on day one, you expect a huge traffic. Agree?
Yes.
As it is a popular movie and a much awaited movie, not in day one, in the first 1 week or in first 1 month, you expect a huge traffic to that particular object. Do you agree? When
Yes.
you expect a huge traffic to that particular object, end users should not have any buffering issues. They want their media to be or content to be accessed seamlessly, isn't it? So in such
Right.
cases, when the traffic is more in huge in number, it is always advised to store those kind of objects into a high-speed storage class, and standard is a high-speed storage class. Got it? Sure.
Yeah.
Let's say after 6 months, obviously the traffic decreases. Am I right? Let's say first 1 month or 2 months, you'll have a huge traffic to that particular object. Definitely after 2 months or after 5 months, the traffic decreases substantially, isn't it? Sure.
Yeah. Yeah.
And in such cases, to avoid the bill, we can shift the objects from standard. The lower the performance is and the lower the bill is. Okay. You can move your object from high-speed storage class to other different low-speed storage classes. Okay. And there are some there are some particular objects which are very, very older objects, let's say, which are some historical related objects. They have to be there, but they will have very, very 1% of access to their customers. In that case, they are called as infrequently accessed data, okay, or legacy data. So, which is very, very rarely used, maybe once in a year or something like that. You can go to a infrequently accessed storage classes. Got it? Understand? So those kind of objects, you don't need to pay more by keeping them in a high-speed storage class. Okay, got it? So like this, storage classes will help in improving the performance, and the bill is dependent on the bill which you get. Yesterday we have seen it. You are charged for the storage as well as
request
tiers, storage management tiers. Tiers are nothing but classes. So you will be billed according to the class which you have selected. Obviously, if you select a high-speed storage class, you get more bill, and when you select a low-speed storage class, obviously you get the less bill. Got it? And here we have seen one object is uploaded, and it is clearly obvious that this particular object is uploaded in which storage class. Obviously, the standard storage class. Where is that? Okay.
So, sir, this
one
class
where is the class? Let me look at it.
Okay,
storage class is standard. Let's say you don't afford a standard storage class. You can go to edit, and then I go to little bit standard one zone. Okay, and then I save the changes. That's how you have successfully changed the storage class from previously it was standard. Now I have changed it to
1A, standard 1A.
Okay. Like
Yeah.
this, you can edit and change your objects from one storage class to other storage class. Read document about storage classes, and clients we have to clients will select according to their pros and cons. Got it, Shah?
Yes.
Anything more? Do you have any question? Looks like.
Yeah. So it's like not the type of a bucket, but the way we store data in the bucket.
Yes. Yes.
Okay. Yeah.
It's not type of. It's only one bucket. There are no
Okay,
types
yeah.
of buckets.
Yeah. Yeah.
How exactly? That's all about memory. Okay. Quality
Okay.
of the memory. Okay.
Okay.
Got
Yeah.
it, Shah?
Yeah.
And AWS provides a S3 calculator. Do you know that, Shah?
No idea.
Let's say client wants to store 500 GB of data. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Shah, client wants to store 500 GB of some objects are there. Okay. They want to store it in S3 bucket. As an
Yeah.
AWS team, they will ask you, can you give us a approximate how much bill we get it? Obviously, when a client wants to go for storage, they want to know because they have to prepare a budget for it, isn't it, Shah? So they
Yeah.
may ask you, can you, they may ask the AWS in-house team to provide an estimate cost if we upload our 500 GB of data into S3 bucket. So if you want to have this kind of estimate cost, we have AWS S3 calculator. Okay. Just type in Google AWS S3 calculator, simple monthly calculator, where you can see.
I think the one below. That is quite simpler link. Second one.
AWS pricing calculator. AWS S3 calculator. Yeah, you're right. Why it's access denied? Come on. S3 simple storage servers pricing. Simple monthly calculator. EC2 15th birthday, Shah. Today is the birthday of EC2 service, and it is a 15th birthday. So here, yes, you can see the pricing. Okay. In fact, previously the user interface was completely different. Okay, so it's all in TVs. Okay, you can see TVs.
Yeah.
This is the price for standard class. This is the price for intelligent class. Okay, got it?
Yes, sir.
So using this, you can review it and you can give a quotation. AWS for pricing examples, we have pricing calculator. That's what I'm expecting is.
I think this is service calculator. I mean,
Create an estimate. We want to create an estimate for if I select in let me try Mumbai region. This is a different service. I'm looking for a different calculator. Previously, it was a different calculator. Yes, this is what I am looking for. Simple monthly calculator. Okay. Now, you want to calculate for which service, Shah? Here we have an option of.
S3.
Similarly, you can also calculate for other services, also easy to. Okay. I
Yeah.
want to calculate for the service S3. Okay. For how much GB as we thought? 500 GB, isn't it? That's what we have thought.
Yep.
500 GB of which storage class I'm selecting? S3 standard storage
Standard.
class. If I store 500 GB, in which bucket if you create it in North Virginia region, then your client should get a monthly bill of
$11.
$11. If the
Uh,
same 500 GB, if
yeah.
not in standard storage class, if I go to more cheaper storage class, which is infrequent ask data, okay. Previously it was $11. Now
11
it has
point,
been,
yeah.
it was now changed to
6.5.
6
Yeah.
point. The lower the storage class, the lower the bill is. And the
Bill
bill
is, okay.
changes according to the region. Same 500 GB in same storage class. If I change it in Mumbai region, I think Mumbai, to my knowledge, is expensive when compared to others. Okay, the bill is same. Okay. So when you
Yeah,
change the
okay.
region also, you may experience the changes in the bill. If it is Hong Kong, it's the same. Okay. So you can select the region and you can select the amount of GB which you are planning to store and which storage you want to store. Okay. So that you
Mhm.
can get the bill and you can give some estimate to your client or to your customer or to your organization. Got it, Shah?
Yep.
So
Yes.
this is all about the storage classes. I hope I am clear in explaining you the importance of a storage class. Okay.
Yes.
Thank you. Next, I want to discuss about cross-region replication and transfer acceleration, encryption, metadata tags. Obviously, we cannot continue this. The rest of the topics will be continuing on tomorrow's session. So before ending, let's have few more interaction. Parvez,
Yeah, sir.
how are you doing, Parvez? And you're from which
Yeah,
location?
fine, sir. How are you?
Doing well, thank you.
Sir,
You're from which location?
sir, Vijayapur, Karnataka.
Karnataka. Okay, how many years of experience?
So I have four plus years of experience in sales and marketing.
Okay,
Yeah,
now
I
you want to
had-
get into IT industry?
Yeah, before I was in IT only, UBS, United Bank of Singapore, as a network support engineer
Wow, very good. Mhm.
for Pune location. So I want to rejoin for IT field as
Okay,
well.
right now you said you are in sales and marketing. In which product?
In banking field, sir, right now.
Okay, okay.
Banking and broadband.
So how is your learning of AWS?
It's very good, sir.
Thank you. Yes, your question.
Sir, I have missed the versioning for second advantage.
Second advantage, as the name suggests, it will maintain the current version as well as the previous versions. Okay. So when you
Okay.
click on show versions, you will see the latest version as well as you can get the older version. You can download the older version of the object. Okay, that's it.
Okay, sir. One more question. If a version, we have created a version right now, sir.
We have created.
If we version in
We have-
version, sir.
We have not created. We have
No,
enabled versioning.
right. So in that, if we changes in image
Object.
object, right? If we changes in the object,
When you upload the object,
object,
the old object is generally replaced with the new one
right? Automatically.
automatically. Okay.
Okay. Yeah. Fine.
Kalwa Srikanth.
Hello, Sunil.
Hi Srikanth, how are you doing?
Fine.
Yes. Your question.
Yes, Sunil. Previously, you have done the static website hosting.
Yes.
You have created the HTML header, and one is the another two. You have created.
Index.html. Index.html.
Yes.
Yes.
So without creating, what I'm saying is website. What will say?
Without creating index.html.
Yeah.
No, file name should be index.html. Index.html is something like homepage. Okay. When you open a domain name, when you access a domain, something like ICICI.bank.com, you're getting the first page, right? That first
Yes.
page is nothing but index.html. According to the technology, web development technology, index.html is nothing but the first page that will be accessed whenever you are accessing a domain. Okay, so that's the reason the file name should be index.html.
Okay. Okay, Sunil.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Safia Momin,
Yeah, hi Sunil.
how are you doing?
Yeah, I'm good. How are you?
Doing well. How are you learning AWS?
Yeah, it's going very well.
Thank you. You're doing hands-on?
Yeah, I'm trying.
Okay. Yes, your question, please.
So my question was, where we use static website hosting in real time.
No, let's say you need a website, Safia. Okay.
Yeah.
You can use, many organizations need websites, right? And they need multiple websites. So you can use this is one feature what provides by AWS. You can also have websites hosted on this S3 service. Okay. So that's it. There's no special advantage. If the need is for creating a website, they can use this as for storing, for having their websites live. That's it. Instead of depending for hosting sites like GoDaddy, they can go for this one. Okay.
That's all the websites are using this static website hosting for their index page. That's what you meant.
Index page is mandatory, not only in SS3, in any hosting also. If you host your GoDaddy also, the first page should be index.html. Okay.
Yeah. So what's the why it is more beneficial?
There is nothing called beneficial. There is no specific advantage of S3 static website hosting. This is also one feature. Okay.
Okay.
That's it. There's no advantage. You can use S3 for static website hosting, like GoDaddy. This is one feature. That's all.
All right.
Okay.
So it depends on depends on client. For
client.
which
Yes,
service.
right.
Yeah.
Okay.
All right. Yeah. Perfect.
Thank you.
And one more question about this monthly calculator and S3 pricing.
Yes, you are right.
Yeah. So you said it's depends on region, right?
Yes, you are right.
So So there is a possibility that that most of the people will use the cheapest pricing region, right?
It's not always. If the client wants a cheaper region, they select the cheaper region. If the client wants a region which is more nearer to their customers, then they go for region specific. Okay. If the client is ready to pay the bill, they want an efficient, closer location to their customers. Let's say, for example, Safia, you all know GoDaddy. We all know Amazon Prime, isn't it? Majority of the customers of Amazon Prime are from India. Agree?
Yeah.
So if they select a region as Australia, there will be performance issues, isn't it? So it's always better to have their region nearer to the customer's location. As the customer, if the customer base is India, they select the nearer region.
That's the point.
So the different aspects, they plan it out, and then they select the region and they select the class. Okay.
Yeah. So it's most likely nearest available region, right?
Yes.
Yeah. All right. Yeah. Perfect. Cool.
Anything more?
Nothing as of now.
Thank you.
Thank.
Bhagyasri. Bhagyasri. Okay. So rest of the features like cross-region are very important. Cross-region replication, transfer acceleration is very important. And then these are all pretty simple. We can just complete it in 10 minutes. And then lifecycle management is important. Remaining are pretty simple. Probably by tomorrow we can complete S3, and then we will be moving on to next service called identity and access management, which is much more interesting. Until then, have a nice time. And if you are not, yes, Bhagyasri.
Hi, sir.
I can hear you. How are you?
Hi. Yeah, I'm good. Thank you. How are you?
Yeah, fine. Please tell me your question.
Yeah, I had a question in discussing the Bucket website endpoint. Can we add a location permissions? in
What
order
do you mean by
to
location permission?
huh,
You want your website to be available to Indian customers?
only in India.
Only from the traffic from India, not from other countries, isn't it?
Yes.
That is called routing the traffic using the geographical policy that is possible using Route 53 service. You have to wait. Okay.
Okay. Thank you.
So after this ST service, we'll be moving on to identity and access management. So have a happy learning. I recommend you to buy videos in case if you miss it, get the complete videos. So that will be always handy for you. Okay. And see tomorrow where we learn much, continue learning about ST service. Bye everybody. Thank you.